Hello, everyone. I'm Karen Chang. I'm the Managing Director at Umbrella Consulting. Thank you for joining me for another SYSPRO Quick Tip video. Today's topic is on web view queries. So let me start off by just telling you what it is, when you would use it, and why you would use it. So what is it? It's another user interface option for your query windows. And when I say queries, I'm referring to the customer query, the supplier query, the GL query, all of these different query tiles that you see on my screen here under my favorites menu. It's essentially the same interface as the Avanti client, but without having to use the Avanti client for all of the programs. You can actually have a hybrid of your query windows or the entire SYSPRO program. So you could be running a SYSPRO client and then have your queries set up as web views. So then essentially a hybrid without having to use Avanti completely. Why you would use it, it's a cleaner, more modern looking interface. So you may have users that prefer this cleaner, more modern look rather than the traditional query windows, which some users may find a little bit busy. And how do you use it? It can be set up by operator or it can be set up for a role, and it can be configured for any of the query windows that you see here. And how you turn it on, I'm going to show you very soon, but you may or may not have noticed in all the query windows that there's a double gears. And so I'm going to show you how to get in there and replace the traditional query windows with the web queries, the web view queries. So I'm going to use the GL query as my example today. So let me click into here. So what you're seeing here is my out-of-the-box standard GL query layout. So I haven't customized it at all. You probably already know that you can move these panes around and do some customizations in the traditional SYSPRO client. However, you can also replace it with the web views. How to do that? As I mentioned, there's these double gears over on the top right-hand side. So if I click in there, I see there's an option to design web views. I click Design Web Views. I then want to select Primary Layout to edit or create a web view for the GL query. This then opens up the Visual Designer for the GL query. It then asks me which type of web view I'd like to create. I only have the one option for SYSPRO client, so I select that. Give it a moment, and now it's popping up saying that there's an existing template for this program. And would I like to use that template as the basis for my new view? Sure. I'd rather not spend the time to build a brand new layout from scratch. So I'd like to use a template instead. And actually the default template is quite good as a starting point. So here we go. This is the default template. I'm going to save this template right now just to show you how I can quickly just replace the traditional query window with this web query. And then I'll go into some light modifications. So I'm just going to hit the save button on the top left-hand corner. It brings me back to my GL query, but now on the top left-hand side, you'll see I have this web view as well as all of my other traditional panes. What I'm going to do now is click on this gear. So you'll notice that the double gears has now disappeared, and instead there's this single gear in the web view. When I click on that, there's a little drop down that's all the way on the right-hand side here. And under panes, these are all the traditional view panes. I'm going to close all of them because I want the web view to replace all of my traditional panes. However, keep in mind that you can actually have a hybrid approach. So let's say you really like this movements window at the bottom or these tabs and you want to keep that, but you really like the GL card that comes up or the account information card that comes up on the top left, you can most definitely do that. For today's demonstration, I'm just going to show a complete web view. So I'm going to close all panes. So you'll see all of my traditional panes are gone. And then what I'm going to do is just back out and come back in just to fully refresh the window because I see that my ledger code is not appearing here. So one moment as I close and reopen the GL query. Okay, so then what I'll do is type in a ledger account. Looks like I was still trying to finish loading. I'm going to pull up my bank account. So as you can see, it's pretty different from the traditional query window. It's a lot cleaner. What I'm seeing is account information on the left-hand side, some details, the movements information, closing balance, and then there's these links. So there's the details link. So if you're in the GL query a lot, you're probably used to going into the details pane in order to see all of the transactions related to this GL account. So here we have a grid style view of the details and transactions. And you can still drill into these transactions just like the traditional view, but instead of right-clicking and drilling into the GL journal or the subledger journal, you're clicking on this little pencil button. There we go. My system is a little slow today. So I click on the pencil button on my cash book subledger transaction here, and then it comes up with the general ledger journal or the cash book journal. And so this is the normal view of the general ledger journal, or I could have clicked the pencil and gone into the cash book journal as well. So I'll just kind of stop there since we're focusing on just the web views. There's a couple of things that I want to change about this web view. The default web view is nice, but personally, what I don't like is that there's no magnifying glass. So I want to add that in. I also really like the previous and next buttons, so I'm going to add those in as well. And just now when I was showing you the details, I actually really like the details on the front screen and not having to click into the details. And so I'm going to show you how to make those modifications. I'm going to go back into the gear. I'm going to edit the web view. I'm going to go back into the primary layout. So I'm going to start off by adding the magnifying glass and the previous and next buttons. So I'm going to click on this option here to add a toolbar item. And I'm going to click on this item here, which is the GL query item. Once I click on that, I have a bunch of different options I can pick from. So I want to add the magnifying glass. I have some options here on the right-hand side. I could actually give it some text, change the icon alignment, the icon color. I'm kind of good how it is, so I'm just going to add it. So right away, you see the magnifying glass pop up. Let's add the previous and next buttons. Again, I clicked on the Add Toolbar item, select the GL Query item, and if I scroll down, I'm going to find Previous. And let's just go ahead and add that. And one more time, I'm going to add the next. Perfect, so I'm happy with that. So the last thing that I wanted to add was the details pane, but I want to write out in front here instead of having to click into it. So I'm just going to click on this add layout section because I do want it above my movements and the closing balance. So when I click on add layout section, I then have these options. So I know that the details pane is a grid list. So I'm going to select the grid list. And I have all the different options there. The details one is the one I want. And I will give it a title, although it's not required. I'm going to call it details. And I'm also going to check this option to make the section collapsible so that if I wanted to, I had the option of closing it to view the movements and the balance information better. When I select the section collapsible option, I also get this new option called collapsible section open by default. So I do want the details pane to be opened by default and not collapsed by default. So I'm going to check that. And then I'm kind of liking the blue theme. So I'm going to change my text color to be blue. And the text size, I think I'm going to set that as medium. And let's go ahead and add the section. Great, it's now there. So I'm going to save, and then I'm going to close out of the GL query and come back in just to refresh the window. Pull out my ledger code. So we see the magnifying glass, and we see the previous and next buttons. So if I were to click on the magnifying glass, it would open up my GL browse. Apologies, it's had a little flicker there. So clicked on the magnifying glass. I get my regular GL account chart of accounts list as usual. And then coming back to my GL query, you see the details pane is expanded by default. This little arrow on the right-hand side allows me to collapse it. So then I can see the movements and the closing balance better. So as you can see, it's pretty simple to replace your traditional query windows with the web views. So within minutes, I was able to make some quick modifications and replace the traditional query window with a web view query. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you will try this yourself. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel so you can watch more of these useful videos. Thank you.